Hey guys, it's me again, Orxler. What if? Where I last left off is let's do checking. He woke up again. Summarize it up. He woke up, went on a date, talked to the whole little council of teachers from UA and the big three about the whole situation. Shigaraki's trying to find out if he can get more of those dragon people. There's also the class knows about him is Saphira and Tim, not the other two though. Thinking the festival has started. He's winning. Saphira's there. Todoroki's had Deku's sort of wisdom gum smack him straight in the face. Anything else? And we left off right there if I remember correctly. So, to kick this off with, he's had his fights. Sero and Saphira now. Not Sero and Saphira, the Todoroki and Saphira. A lot of the other fights will happen the same way they've been going, except for Momos and such. So, what will happen now is, well, so she comes out and he's still doing the whole I won't use my father's side. Edgy. Even though he has ice cream hair. Let's see. Battle starts off like this. Saphira going to third degree, trying to get in close. Todoroki using his giant ice wall. She using her fire breath to just blast through it. And to get close and then throws him. Thankfully, he is able to save himself by creating an ice wall very quickly and very steadily. He's on the back foot of this fight. He keeps on having to dodge and trying to get in between and trying to use his giant iceberg attacks. He's quickly realizing that he cannot continue on like this, and he still resolves to not use his fire. Saphira trying to get him to at every possible chance, even at one point using her own ice against his instead of just using fire. Just constantly blasting him and blasting him. Then as he's on his knees, she's like, you should have listened to Deku. He knows what he's talking about. He's helped me more times than I can count. Now she's about to kick him. He just goes blasting her away with a thing of fire. The arena is much bigger in this time to allow dragons and such to use their full capacity. So as Saphira's blown back quite a bit. He's using fire and ice now. And she's using her mixes of fire and ice to blast apart anything he sends at her. Culminating in a whole finale where she charges up her mightiest amount of fire and ice, the hottest they can be without her hurting herself too badly, blasting them, and it's just two nukes went off, and Saphira is the one who wins. Todoroki being blasted away and actually sent into the stands. Her being able to clamp down to the ground and sort of shield her somewhat from the entire explosion. Saphira being proclaimed the winner, and Todoroki embedded in a wall, saved by Cementos, which he curved it so that way as he hit it, he just slide down. Endeavor doing the whole, finally you've ended this whole rebellion, doing that whole, yeah, Shoto. And as that went forward, he's like, I forgot you were even there. Screw you, Dad. Being all edgy. Endeavor's kind of an idiot on that part. Now, as that goes forward, I believe, dang it. It was then, not Bakugo, Iida. It was then Iida versus, forget who it was. What, did he find somebody in the beginning? Mei Hatsumi would be there, I'll say it's Tsuyu this time. So, as Mei and Tsuyu, not Mei, as Iida and Tsuyu came to fight, it's a very difficult battle. No joke. Because they're both very versatile. Iida with her speed and Tsuyu with her like agility and such to be able to dodge and such, and to use her tongue, like literally grab things and toss them. Iida would actually have a very difficult time trying to fend her off. She would be on the back foot of this fight, constantly just using her kicks and such to the best of her abilities. But it's very difficult, considering everything. So I would say after a long battle, it would be Tsuyu the victorious after just sort of whittling down Iida's defense. After that, it would have been, is Kaminari versus I forget her name, the vine hair girl. He loses as usual. Then there's the think. Then the rest go on how they usually would win with, I believe Momo would win this time against the Dark Shadow and such. Anything else I'm missing? Kirishima's still there. Bakugo's still there, who he quite literally demolished, but more respectful about it. Still being the whole, it's very calculating and such. To continue forward, continuing. Now comes the fight with Deku and Saphira. This will be a difficult fight, it will. It starts off with them, they're actually talking before it even begins. Yep, makes sense. They start off with the talking before they even begin. Sort of like friendly trash talk, you know? So, to get that point across, they continue. And as they continue trash talk, then he's like, good luck. Yeah, good luck to you too. So they go their separate ways and get out to the thing. As they crack their necks, Deku's already in 3rd degree. And Saphira's gone to her, stage 4. Deku trying to go for agility over defense. So, stop getting trying to fight off yawns. So, as that continues forward and such, Deku and her have a pretty good fight. Deku is like charging in forward. Saphira is quite tall. Is much bigger than Deku. He wanted to work on his like fighting styles and such, so he goes in with like ready and just lets Saphira come to him. She comes forward, like biting and trying to actually legitimately bite him. He keeps on dodging him, just and actually gives like a few right hooks and such in as he swings up and uppercuts her at one point. As he goes in for another fist, she quickly grabs his arm and tosses him. He using his wings to like flap him down and shoots a small blast of energy, quickly hitting her in her side, causing a lot of pain. Since this is not fire, it's more akin to like a plasma blast from Halo. Which if you've seen what a plasma can do to metal, it hurts, which speaks to a dragon's durability and such to bullets. But eventually bullets can become greater than plasma and such, like mat cannons from Halo and such, but I digress. Takes like armor-piercing bullets to get through dragon skin. And you may wonder, well, how did they train Deku? Well, they have this tranquilizing gas, tranquilizers that can go very deep into skin, that whole sloth of things. Plus, needles are meant to go very deep. So, as Deku and his... As Deku goes on to fight Saphira and continues to fight her, punching her back, blasting her back, but he's getting hit, like barely hit. At one point, taking a full brunt of one of her explosions. He almost falling out. He finally decides, like, fine. As he goes into fourth degree, going to about the same size as her. They come at each other, not ripping and tearing, but biting and clawing. He actually even at one point grabs her by the back of the neck and like flings her, coming in with a head charge and smashes her right in the face, just instantly hitting her away. Both of their parents have come to see this. Saphira's mother's like, "Is this okay?" Inko's like, "I think they're both trying their hardest, so it's good that we support them." "Alright, if you say so." As they're like, "Go on, kick his butt, sweetie. Izuku, if you keep going like that, she's gonna leave you." It's like... quickly sending several the energy beam, causing an explosion to happen. Finally, after a long and arduous battle, he gets slammed in the face with her tail a couple times and bitten on the face, clawed and bite. As this battle is finally ended, he goes over to ensure she's safe. She's like, "I'm good. You actually hurt me quite a bit." As it continues forward, Deku actually tries to go to second degree to fight Tsuyu. Then there's the... Tsuyu versus... Yeah, it was Tsuyu versus Deku. Then it's Katsuki versus Kirishima again. Then there's the Momo versus... Oh, this is so confusing. Damn it. Who does... I keep on forgetting, son of a bitch. Well, they continue forward. Deku being Tsuyu in a very nice way. He just fights her in second degree. Not as big as the others, because he says that he wants to give everyone a fair chance and such. And that they should actually be trying to, improve their skills. So, there's no better way to improve your skills than by fighting. He wins that eventually. When she goes to throw out her tail, not tail, or tongue again, he actually grabs it, yanking it. Gently yanking it, pulling her forward and then throwing her out. She tried to use her tongue at one point to, grab onto him as she was flying out to anchor him. He just, jumped backwards. Just, not letting go. He actually just started flying. Going third degree flying and just... Eventually her tongue got tired and she started falling. Picked her up and gently set her outside boundaries. Bakugo versus Kirishima goes the same way. Momo won that battle against I forget her name. Won that battle against Dark Shadow. Then I believe they had to wait out a little bit. They had to wait out a little bit to do their thing. So, as that continues forward, she'll come against Bakugo, and then will be the finale. It will be after their whole little match, which involved a lot of Momo being on the very defensive, with Katsuki doing her usual attack, and bigger attack. Constantly exploiting Momo until her defensive techniques come back to bite her, as she is eventually just pushed completely out the ring. As Katsuki is thinking, what is she gonna do against Deku? He'll probably try to go at her with third degree at the most, second degree at the least. So I'm gonna have to use very cautious. So as they come out, Deku surprises her by just going in full fourth degree to a very big size. Not even saying any words, just doing again another little blast of fire. Yeah, this time it's fire, blue fire to be specific, using it to blast away and cause a bunch of explosions of his own. charging forward and trying to smash her away, she blasts him with her explosions, which aren't doing a lot. Her having to use actually her AP shot to actually even damage him, and it does go in very deep. We're going rapid like AP shots. As it happens, Deku is like actually is feeling more pain now. As that continues forward and such, he starts to like get worn down bit by bit, until he finally just ends up dropping down, tackling her, and throwing her out. She using her explosions to blast herself back in right before it happens. He going up and going right hand-to-hand combat. Because with him being that big, he can't hit her as effectively as he would smaller form. So in his third degree, he grabs her and like just pretty much bear hugs her. She's trying to blast him away, but since she can't do her AP shot, it ain't doing much until he like essentially just picks her up and just walks her the entire way. She using her explosions to try and keep her back, but that backfires as she blasts it, sending them both across the ring, and then Deku just flips around and tosses her out. So we'll go Deku on top, Katsuki and Katsuki at second, and then I believe it's Momo and Tsuyu in the middle. Yep, that makes sense. So, they go on and on and on. They go forward and such. And now will be after the games. Stop yawning. After the games and such. They go on and go forward. Dealing with the things they usually would. They go out, hang out a bit. Deku sort of getting, not chewed out actually, getting like, they thanking him for actually taking them to a serious degree. He gets a question of why didn't he just do what he's been doing, third degree, then working up or down. He said, well, it's pretty simple actually. It's more along the lines that she could actually hurt me a lot. You both could have hurt me, but I decided to play to my advantage. Katsuki is much smaller and thus much weaker, typically. But I was not expecting her AP shot, so I then switched to a smaller size to make up for my clumsiness, or just how it's more difficult to reach her when I was in my dragon form. For you, I realized the exact same thing. But then I realized I couldn't do enough damage, so I just decided, well, it would probably be best to just use my size and strength and such, and my unusual amount of toughness to overpower you instead. See, that's very casual, not casual, but very intense thinking that comes into forming these plans. Like, we see. Todoroki talking to Deku. Not Todoroki. Endeavor offering Deku and Saphira a thing at his agency when it's like, when you get if there's they do internships, I welcome you to join my thing. Deku like, nah. Deku could sense something was wrong, because they are pretty tight with like Uraraka and Iida and them. Like, they've joined his little group. As Deku talks to Iida about he heard what happened and such during that day, that you should probably take it easy and such. Your brother would be fine and such. That nothing should go wrong. He's like, probably. And Deku gets the idea, and he talks to, like, he'll have to retire. Got too badly hurt. Deku starts thinking, maybe I could do something about that. Is it possible for me to transfer energies? That's a good question. And he's like, what? It's nothing. As they get there and have to choose their hero names. Now, he's been talking with Saphira, Bakugo, and Momo. Bakugo doesn't get the Lord Explosion Murderer. I would say the Grenadier. Yeah, Grenadier. And then there's Momo, who still gets Createe. Difference is with Deku and Saphira. Now, I've been giving this lots of thoughts. You guys probably have heard me say it before, but it's Pendragon. Now, before you say anything, Pendragon is the name of Arthur Pendragon, meaning, as I said before, Chief Dragon. So that means he's like the boss dragon. I thought it made sense. Midnight says it also makes sense. Saphira. Now, this one I have not thought of an idea. So I was thinking something similar. The ice. No. Ah, God. So hard to think of a name for her. You guys should have been giving me hero names for her. Not like Queen Dragon, because they aren't very arrogant and such. Like I said, the Chinese, like the other Asian dragons are. They're standard European dragons. They aren't greedy. They're just like animals and such. So, as the thing goes forward... Oh, God, this is so difficult to think of a name for her. God, dang it. It continues forward. And I will think of a name. If I can't think of her name by the end of this, you guys come up with one. And I'll choose the one that I think makes sense the most. So, as they go forward, Deku gets a plethora of internships, along with everybody else who actually was doing very impressive at school. Now, to continue forward and such, Deku gets a lot of internships. He's thinking, trying to decide. Todoroki talking with them as well about the internships. He's like, I'll go with my dad. Good for you. Saphira thinks, I think I'll intern with them as well. He's just thinking and thinking and thinking. Running it through his head again and again and again. He can't really decide. So he's like, screw it, I'll go with Endeavor as well. He's tossing the thing away. He coming to talk with Amir at this point is training with, taking a break from training with Night Eye and going to, like, meet with Gran Torino. As Deku and them set off to do their thing, he has another talk with Iida. Talking with her, saying that, remember, and I think I may be able to help your brother. Not entirely sure, but I think I have the ability to heal. Just requires certain circumstances. Like, I need to be in, like, I won't be able to do it to him in the hospital. I need to be out in the open to where I can draw enough energy in. So, I think I may be able to help him recover completely. Because I felt re-energized after I used it. Then I kind of got cut and such a bit. So I pulled in a little bit of energy and healed right up. So I'll see if my ability and such could help your brother. And she's like, thanks. And he's like, no problem. But to continue forward, he's at that Endeavor agency. Several of them looking at him. He's in his 3rd degree and such. Nothing unusual. Same thing with Saphira. As they continue forward, they meet with him and say, we're going after the hero killer. Follow me. Deku and them coming to understand this. As they follow him, the whole Nomu situation happens. Deku and Saphira telling Endeavor that they'll fly from above and get eyes out. When they do that, several abominations, as Deku calls them, would come flying out of nowhere, crashing into them. As now it's a battle for the skies. Fire and ice being blasted out. Energy beams being cut into several of these abominations, causing them to fall to the ground. The guy, the mad scientist, known as Dr. Heisenberger, come and has released more of them. I know it's very typical, crazy German scientist. Ha 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 ha. Leave it. Dr. Heimsenwager, your experiments are going well. Ah, good, good. Have they made in contact with the subject? Yes. They're doing very well. Much better than last time. Ah, good. Now, leave me to my work. Yes, Dr. Heinzenwager. As he continues on, refining the whole splicing process. These ones are a bit more tougher, as Deku realizes, as they have more control over their abilities and such. Instead of being, throwing out it at randomly, they're being more precise and such. Still, they could use a bit of work, but they're a much improvement. They're much improved than last time. As Deku goes on to fight more of them, he continues to fight and fight and fight, never giving up. He even at one point grabs onto one and just sort of rips, tears off its head. Saphira doing the same. Sort of blasting off, and Endeavor and them see this. As they were flying up, they got a bit of ways away, then out of nowhere from the sky, just Deku gets jumped on from the back. As these abominations just starts clawing into his back, he is able to flip around and grab onto it and throw it away. As they're flying, Deku notices something. He sort of gets a smell of Iida, and he can tell she's bleeding. But he's continue the search. I think Iida's in danger. As he goes and flies off, she's oh, fine. As Saphira is left to her own abilities to fend off. And Deku's done quite a lot of damage, blasting dozens of them away. They're much easier to produce than a Nomu, but it's a time-consuming process. They've just had much more time to genetically grow them than it is to make them. It's a very confusing process. If you want really a lot of them in a short amount of time, you make them cheap. But if you want some more sturdy ones, well, it's the same way as that it takes time, like with the Nomus. So, as they continue forward and such, Deku lands on top of a building looking down. Stain as she's about to plunge the thing into Iida's back. As Deku looks down, as he charges up, and Stain immediately leaping away, and Deku blasting at her. He's telling Iida to grab the one hero and to get away. She's I can't move. As Stain is oh, who are you? Pendragon. And you? I'm the hero killer Stain, here to wipe away these false heroes. Forgive me, but while I stand here, no harm shall come to them. As he takes a stance, throwing out his wings and such to make him look powerful and mighty. Sort of psychological warfare at first. Stain taking up a stance saying, she's killed dragons before. Let's see if you're any different. As she comes rushing at him, Deku immediately blasting fire and dropping down to a smaller size to at least level 3. Taking up stance against Stain. Even grabbing some stuff at one point, ripping off a bar from a wall for railing and such, and just starts fighting Stain with her swords and knives. Deku using his tough skin to sort of throw it away, and using his claws and such to dig into her weapon, snapping them. But with all that around her, he just has to be very patient and such. Then eventually Iida gets the whole thing, and as she's I'm here to help, he's go get that hero out of here. I'll deal with this. As he continues to fight her, and eventually actually uses his sword to put her sword into the hole, tripping her and then smashing her in the face with his fist. She nearly caught him so many times, but thanks to his ability to just his normal toughness, it usually just skinned the that little white thing that happens if you scratch your skin or something too, but it doesn't bleed, it just does that, sort of making a mark. So as he continued to fend her off till he finally saw his chance, sort of used his tail to smash her a bit, get her and get the bar on her thing, and then eventually steal it, and then hit her again, then eventually getting her on the ground and smashing her face. He just sort of grabbing the metal bar, just sort of using his strength to just tie her up, dragging her away. As he landed and such, he's like, Iida and them are all safe and sound. Iida's getting scolded. Saphira's like getting scolded, sort of. She's like, hey, he went off on his own. Not my fault. Todoroki, seeing Deku approach with Stain inbound, and just tosses him at Endeavor. Endeavor's like, what? As he looks up, seeing Deku, he barely has even scratches. He's like, hero killer's done. Situation here? How is it here? Well, we're doing much better, thanks to Saphira here. I know Sapphire and such could be easy, but it just seems so... it could be done so much better. So, it's too easy. So, as they continue forward and such, they go on and on and on. They fight even more, and for that whole Nomu thing, what happens is, as Deku's just standing there, he gets hit with a dart real quick, like a thing real quick, that just starts like, what the fuck? As he like grabs it, he's like, oh, fiddles. As he's then grabbed up by one of the monsters. This time it's by Nomu. That's very fast, even for a dragon. His fury immediately changes and gives chase, using her fire and ice breath, trying to blast it and cause it to disorientate. Deku's just like, as he's like weakly grabbing at the limbs, trying to like force it off him. It's dug its claws in, so he's like, oh. As even Endeavor got on top of her, he's like, oh, you'll need help. As he jumps on the back, like, go, go. It's like something out of myth and legend. A man using a giant fire spear and such, trying to pin down this Nomu. He gets it lined up, all at the ready. Saphira blasting fire and ice, trying to keep it in a straight line. As he launches it forward, portal appears, absorbing it, sending it right back at him grabbing it. He's like, what is that? She's like, oh, it's the guy from the USJ attack. As they're dodging, Deku's body, since he's been like taking in a bit of energy and such, like a very tiny amount, and thanks to his healing factor, he's been able to just somewhat gain control, like more control and more of his strength. So he goes into first degree, grabbing the feet and just sort of slowly but surely prying them off him. Just like, as he's like able to get one off, sort of unbalancing the Nomu. Deku sort of tugging, causing it to fall slightly, giving Endeavor enough point to like throw the spear, missing the portals, and just immediately getting it in the head. As with its grip loosened and such, Deku falls down to the ground, sort of skidding across it, smashing right into a pole. Oh! As he's like, get me out of here. As Endeavor and Saphira grab him up and take him away. Mirio, at this point, was helping Gran Torino with that whole situation, fighting off several Nomu and several hybrids. Gran Torino saying, what the heck are these things? And remembering what Toshinori told him, or All Might, saying that, yeah, these things have been popping up every now and then. Our recent expert, Deku, says that they're abominations and to destroy them on sight. But if you can, bring one more intact so we can study it. And there's plenty of intact ones, quote-unquote, now. So, as Deku and them go to continue forward and such with their goals. Now, to continue forward on this whole little thing, they try to scold Deku. He's essentially saying, screw you, I did something you didn't. Commissioner is still doing the whole, is what I'm pretty much forced to say. And they're like, so why? Well, don't have a license to use your abilities. Not quirks, but abilities. Since that's the whole thing I thought about, is that they would probably have a law for this a long time ago. that dragons must have a special license to use their abilities and such. Unless it was like a life in danger situation, they would not be permitted to use their abilities. So, yeah. As Deku talked to Iida about getting his brother in a wide open area for him to use his abilities. He's like, he'll need to be in a big area. He's gonna have to get as big as he can to like heal him, I believe. So as they get to an area, sort of like getting him in his wheelchair and such. And as he's in his wheelchair, eventually like later on the line, they get him there and he is in the wheelchair, just at the ready. When it comes to it, he's like, so, how does this work? Well, be honest with you, I have never tried this with anyone, so just stand still and let's see if I can do this. Taking in, they slowly start seeing the light, like little bits of energy start coming close to him, and they even see it in the ground. As he charges it up and breathes it forward, there's a scream from Big Brother Iida, as it's just like some bone cracking and such, and stuff being reformed. As he's like, oh, after it's all done, he's just screaming, oh, as he's like doubled over in pain. As he like gets up, what were you thinking? And as Deku gives like a sort of smile, he's like, what are you smiling about? As he turns around, not realizing things, looks down, he's like, I'm walking. I can walk. Like, yep, you can. So, you're welcome. Now, if you don't mind, I'm gonna go hang out with my girlfriend. As he flies off. Tell your sister not to be an idiot. As he leaves, like, well, let's get going. I feel like going for a run. As they all start going for the run. Iida and her brother. So, as they go forward, Deku chilling with Bakugo, Momo, and Saphira. They're all doing their usual thing. They just hang out. As they get talked to by Aizawa, well, not Aizawa, Deku goes again to meet with them and ask what have they found out from the bodies, because he knows they took them. They're like, well, these things are it's very difficult for us to tell that they're even a different being at this point, but there are still some discrepancies and such. So that tells us they aren't perfect, and give us a take on what the combat situation is with them. Well, they're a hassle, I'll give them that. They've improved them much better than what they did last time. My guess is that they're getting much, much more refined and such. I say it'd probably take a while for me. If they get this thing fully done, it could take me a while to kill at least a dozen of them. That's me at full strength, I would say. So we should probably focus on trying to find as many bases of these guys we can and burn them to the ground. Not sparing them, not anything. Because I can tell from how this thing is, these guys are funded by somebody with a lot of money. And comes with a lot of money, they could easily have hands in the government. So if we do this, we don't take prisoners. We annihilate them. Every last one. He getting ridiculed by some of the other ones. Like, you shouldn't be so eager to kill them. He's like, you have no idea what this is like. If I must, I will make this dragon-only business. Leaving the heroes and the government out of this. You guys will have no choice but to wait, sit by and watch me demolish this. This must be done. Whether you like it or not. As several try to interject, really? And he gives several examples. They've been on the hunt for like for decades, and you all still haven't gotten them. You've made some minor, and at least a couple of major busts, but you still haven't found the root. Why is that? there is someone or something giving them access to like quirks and such that could help them get in and out of situations. I'm not talking about whole you wait, get the information, because by then that information can be leaked back to them that you're planning something. Now, if dragons and such are able to drop in on them when they're not expecting, that's a whole different question. That's a whole different story. We get in, butcher them, destroy everything that they have. It's plain and simple. As that goes on, he's like, we're done here. As he walks away and flies off. Oh, just taking a big sigh when he gets home, like, oh. Reads a note. Went out with the girls. He's like, alright. As he gets comfortable, he's like, ugh, what should I do now? Anything at all? Anything at all, really? I'm tired of playing games. I've been playing enough of those. I visited my mom and Saphira's mother last time. Anything new that I should know about? When he gets a knock on the door. Like, could that be? As he looks out the door, seeing nobody, then as he opens it, Nezu walks in. Nezu? He's like, yes, do you mind if I take a seat? He's like, sure. You want something to drink? Nezu arriving there with All Might. They want to see if they could dissuade Deku from taking this action. He's like, tea it is. And All Might, you want a soda or something? And he's like, I wonder if I could do that for All Might. Well, as they talk and such, they talk to him about doing the whole healing process on All Might, because they heard what he did for Iida's brother. And just trying to dissuade him from doing anything else. He's like, if you won't do something, I will. That is what it is. If I'm counted as a criminal, so be it. But this has gone on for too long, and you know it. As he gives that whole thing. Now he's like, now for the other reason you're here. All Might's still trying to dissuade him. He's like, All Might, this cannot be changed. Either me, I will gather a small army of dragons and burn every single thing I can find to the ground, and drown it in blood, or you do it. It has been too long, and I have lost patience. The longer we wait, the more things they can produce. The more things they produce, the more they perfect it. The more they perfect it, the much harder they become to stop. When they become impossible to stop, what happens? Not you, not me, not even probably an act from God himself could wipe them out. That is what I fear. That is what you don't understand, is that sometimes blood must be spilt to save the lives of hundreds. To save the lives of thousands. If we kill them, sure, there may be hundreds, maybe thousands. But sometimes the life of thousands is worth much more than the life of millions. It's worth a lot less than the life of millions. Now, tell me the rest of the reason why you're here. Well, we heard from sources that you healed Iida's brother. He's like, yes. You should see I can heal All Might. No, like, how... And he didn't know that it was All Might. He's like, how could you tell that it was... I could smell you. Your smell doesn't fool me. I smell it on you. He was always in those forms, by the way. I'm sorry if I did not say that. He could tell it was All Might, but he just never said anything about it. Like, when he did find the skeleton man, he just, like, knew it was All Might, but kept his mouth shut, saying, hello. Hi, kid. So, You want me to do that, exactly. We'll need to go somewhere private. I think Iida would work. Is there anything else? Anything at all? It's like, so, how are you enjoying life in the city? Well, I've been trying almost kidnapped a few times since I've been here, but otherwise it's been pretty good. Yeah. Well, thank you guys. And I was just gonna chill today. But I guess I'll help All Might with his thing. So as he does that now, take heed that I may not be able to completely heal you. It's okay. Do it. As he starts getting to the max size and then starts sucking in energy. Slowly but surely, almost going to like... And he got like a report on all his injuries. Pretty much my stomach's gone, a lot of major organs and such. And the like. And you couldn't get this healed like I did. Nope. Your stuff ruptured, my stuff blew up. Like, I guess you're right. As he focuses a lot of his energy and such into healing All Might, it's a very painful process that requires hours. It takes like up over 20 minutes. Then Deku's quick little burst of energy. Agonizing pain for both of them, because it's straining Deku quite a lot to suck in all this energy and such. To like absorb it into his body, then redirect it, which his body can take up a lot, but it does take a lot of energy to heal all that. It takes quite a bit. Because it takes quite a bit to just heal him from minor exhaustion and such, which is weird. He's just become slightly less exhausted and such. So as he like does it, All Might's fully healed in a way. There are still like scars and such, and the organs aren't tip-top shape, but they're there. So it's like, oh god. As he like starts, he's like, I can breathe much better now. Jesus. Oh. As he comes to realize how poorly his body was in shape. Like, as Deku just sort of... taking in deep breaths and such, trying to figure out... Oh, that was a lot. Oh boy. Like, thanks, kid. He's like, no problem, I'm gonna go pass out somewhere. And that will be the end of that. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a nice day, nice night, nice life. Remember, tell me a name for Saphira for hero name. And hope you all have a nice day, nice night, nice life, and goodbye.